Hello and welcome to the VR Master League. Today bringing some more matches. This time it's going to be Animal House versus Legionnaires, and today I'm joined by my friend Noman.
Mr. Buxton, how are you today?
I am doing good, same as with Nightfire. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited for Animal House Legionnaires. I think these are two really good teams, and I'm excited to see what we see out on the battlefield today.
I'll have to agree with you there, but we do have the bands already. We do have the first map. They're being very punctual with their time, and that is much appreciated. So we can hop straight into this and have a little discussion before the match begins. First of all, we have the band from the home team, Animal House, and that is going to be Downfall, and from the opposing team, the away team, that being Cargo from Legionnaires. I gotta say, I'm not too surprised with those bands, especially Downfall from Animal House, considering Legionnaires' reputation on it.
Yeah, it's definitely two pretty standard bands from these two teams. Having played them myself a couple of times, I think that they're pretty much spot on for what we had before. I think maybe Animal House had banned Tanker, but basically they've taken out the largest and the smallest maps from the rotation here, and we're going to be seeing some medium-sized engagements, which I think is pretty much par for the course for these two teams. I think they're very comfortable in that sort of like medium space, a little bit of CQB and a little bit of long range. I think it's going to be an exciting set of maps here.
Absolutely will be, and after we get onto the final, well, not the final, the first map pick here, we have some interesting news on the side of Legionnaires. So we just mark this map here. The first map is going to be Bizarre, kind of a standard thing, as you said, medium kind of engagements. It's not too short, it's not too small, not too large. Both sides are going to be pretty happy on it, especially considering kind of their win rate on it. just Legionnaires alone has won 69% of the times they've played Bazaar, with Animal House being a solid 60% as well. So they're both pretty confident on it, and it will be definitely some high-tier matchups that neither side is going to roll over here during this map. They're going to want to both try and take this, because this is, on both sides, their map, regardless of who actually chose it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a really interesting watch. And a note on those statistics is that Legionnaires have played 18 games this season. They played the most in the league so far. So their number, I think, is a little bit more solidified. I think Animal House has played 12 to Legionnaires' 18 total games. So I'm curious to see what the effect of those numbers are. You know, we said 69%, but you never know when two strong teams come together like this, and especially two teams with sort of varying tactics. It's kind of anybody's game. I'm really excited for it.
Good to hear, but we can go into some of the surprising news that I talked about. We head into this different scene here. Actually, we can head straight into this one here. Much fancier. We got some nice UI introduced in the latest update. We can have a look at the roster on the side of Legionnaires. There's an unfamiliar name, and that is Honeyhalf bringing in as a reservist for Legionnaires. Now that is a hell of a strong reservist to bring in on this match. I think it's going to be a pretty big tide turner.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how he meshes with that sort of Legionnaire style of play, the slow, methodical pace. You know, coming from, I believe he's an SMC, correct? Coming from SMC, who tend to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, I'm wondering if there's going to be sort of a meshing issue with the type of offenses and defenses that the Legionnaires tend to run. So he is a strong player. I don't discount that at all. But I think we may see him sort of struggle to get up to speed potentially in this first map, especially. And I'm curious to see how they iron that out through the remaining two maps.
Is possible meshing with your kind of team, getting the coordination, getting the almost unconscious telepathic link between the members like you see with Globochem. Then again, that may also just be their mouths communicating with each other all the time. They do just keeping that kind of web of communication, staying nice and in sync with each other. That is the most important thing for a team, especially at the higher levels. Maybe just his skills and the kind of experience of playing on SMC for such a long time and going to the I believe it was the Leicester event, yeah, and just getting that experience. I think he can bring it quite a long way, regardless of maybe a lack of meshing between the teams. But we'll have to just wait and see if that is actually the case, or if he just runs really well with them. And if so, maybe he'll even join them. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got the positions open, and I know they're trying out a few members right now as it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of those. I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't just a reservist position. It would be a really strong pickup for them. But I think for both the team and for Honeyhalf himself, this would be a very good example of, you know, camaraderie and gameplay, and see how they sort of blend together.
Definitely. There was a little bit of a rehost there. You may have heard me clicking about in the menus. That was because Stephen was getting kicked from the lobby, but there has been a rehost. The objective has changed slightly, but you didn't know it anyway, so it's not going to affect the you guys sitting here. But that does hopefully mean that we'll be hopping into the round relatively shortly, though we still likely do have a few minutes. They do have to plan their stuff out. So while we are here, we might as well go over what kind of history these two teams have had over the past kind of season here, what kind of teams they've played and how they've kind of worked out. Animal House, they have had a few difficulties this season. You saw it with Globochem, you saw it with Tactical Illuminati. I believe it was just last week where it was actually pretty close between the two teams, actually just barely. Tactical Illuminati, the name's so hard to say. Tactical Illuminati almost won it, but they just barely edged out, lost on Bazaar, but they really took over they really took over Suburbia, which is a little bit of a weak point from Animal House, considering they only have a 1 in 3rd win rate on that map, which is less than ideal for any map really. But Suburbia is a big one, and considering the fact that it wasn't banned here, I think we'll definitely be seeing that out of Legionnaires.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting play. It's a little bit surprising to me that league teams struggle with Suburbia sometimes, because, I mean, one of the primary reasons I think a lot of us excel at that map is it's such a popular, lobby creation map. It's a really popular public lobby map, and it's a really popular comp map to get people to fill in. So it's kind of surprising that people who generally have a chance to play it very, very often tend to struggle on it. So I wonder if that's just the teams they played against, or if maybe they just haven't worked out the strats on it quite yet. But I do hope we see it. I think it'll be an interesting matchup, especially with the sort of lack of statistics around it.
Will be interesting to see. Cargo is also a little bit of a sore spot for Amhouse. They have won only 45% of the maps they've actually played on, well, not maps, they've only won 45% of the times they've played Cargo, to be slightly more clearer on that, which sub 50% it can be pretty rough. That's not really ideal. You want to try and keep it up there above 50% at the least, but the small maps seem to be a bit of Amhouse's weak point here, which is surprising to see. That's a ban coming out for Cargo from Legionnaires then, considering that is a bit of a sore spot.
Yeah, I still think that Cargo can be sort of a 50-50 toss-up depending on the type of strats you play and, you know, your loadout for that day. There's a lot of factors that come into it, but it's such a quick map. There's so few, corners and avenues to take that it's kind of, I've always felt like a coin flip between teams. So I'm not super surprised that you want to take a coin flip out of your game against somebody like Legionnaires or against Amhouse.
Yeah, getting some of those certain objectives, like say send a house or burn the objective against a aggressive team, that can be really killer. Unlike say a double, well, you can't get a double anymore, up say a northwest objective that you manage to cap against the enemy, then a red car objective, and it's just nice and smooth the whole way around. It can be a very big coin flip for those objectives. But now looking over at the side of Legionnaires, they have been doing pretty well, especially picking up with guys on their roster. They picked up Raider recently, which really kind of dominated against I believe it was Stone Cold Killers with that incredibly sneaky cap. That's kind of impressive really for such a new member to be able to pull stuff like that off, but I guess we'll have to see how he performs during this match, see if he can keep it up, because we're going into this round right now. Going to be that west objective to start off with, probably the maybe most balanced objective on this kind of map, especially because the spawns, they don't really give an advantage to one team or the other, regardless of which spawn you do get.
Yeah, and Bazaar is great for that. There's so many different avenues of attack, windows, doorways, stairwells. I mean, there's a ton of different ways to approach the objectives. It's one of the most balanced maps in the game, I think, next to maybe Quarantine.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like that, and this is a kind of an interesting composition coming out from Legionnaires here on the defense. They've got El Vegas and Honeyhalf both inside the objective blue room area, playing quite passive positions, and also you've got Raider and Kitten Mitten sitting in the general store. That's kind of an interesting move. They're playing incredibly tight, sticking in 2-2-1 combo on Volk, which is not something people really do often. They like to spread out a little bit on Volk, cover their angles.
Yeah, and I think a big thing about this formation is it gives you the really clean opportunities for refrags, and I think that's what they need to focus on. It's been their issues in the past as they spread a little bit thin and get picked off one by one, and I think when you get your Volk defenders close together, you'll get those refrags a lot easier.
I didn't got him.
A little bit of fire coming out from Honeyhalf, but he did see one man cross over in the southwest, and it's in fact Silent Knight who crosses over and gets taken down, totally killed by Honeyhalf. And that's going to leave only one man, Will-O-the-Wisp, to push up the southwest there. That's a really important pick, taking down the captain of Animal House only a minute and 30 seconds in. That's exactly what they want if they want to keep doing a nice defense here. But if Honeyhalf, he's playing a bit risky with Green Theft here. He does see him and he does take him down, never mind. He's not playing risky because it works out after all. And this west courtyard is starting to get a little bit smoky.
Yeah, it was a great play by Honeyhalf. Great heads-up movement on that and picking up an offender before he's even able to recognize a defense.
Kitten Mittens also picks up Willow. The southwest totally cleared up. And now it is just BuxtonWater and Steven to continue moving around to try and deal with the objective and the defense. And I gotta say, if Steven's the last one left again, that's kind of almost a prophecy. He's always the last one left on Animal House. It's a very clear pattern.
Yeah, he does like to fly. I'm rooting for him here. I hope that they can pull something out. I think if they sort of regroup and discuss what their plan of attack is, they should be able to make it. But Box is in kind of a dangerous position here all by himself.
Yeah, he's pretty far from any possible refrag, so Steven has a good location to stop anyone trying to cross back over to the objective, rotate back to tighten things up a little bit. But nobody on Legionnaires is going to need to rotate right now, especially with BuxToys approaching the defenders furthest from objective. And if he stands up into the window just next to him, it's going to be devastating. Yeah, and he's made noise on the radio as well. Chances are he's going down. Raider is looking for him. Decided not to be too aggressive with it. He's staying back in his corner. Probably the good decision in this case. Oh, but if Kit and Mitten's legs stick through the wall here. Oh, very lucky they didn't.
I think Box did catch his toe peek out. He did look at it, but I'm not sure if he actually caught.
Guys, if BuxToys, he did actually see it and he's spraying around the corner totally blind. It doesn't work out at all though as Kit Mittens just cleans him up. Blindly spraying around corners like that, not typically the best play. They can shoot your hands pretty easily.
Yeah, you definitely want to come around that corner quickly. Get that, what we like to call the peeker's advantage. When you come around a corner, you generally have a little bit more of a chance to see somebody before the defender can react. And I'm surprised he wasn't making that the play there instead of just blind firing.
Now it's just Steven left alive in this northwest side. He is behind most of the defense of Legionnaires, and nobody seems to be aware that he's here though. Honeyhalf, Kagan, El Vegas, they are still holding a very tight defense next to the objective. So regardless of what he does, unless he pulls off some insane 1v5 miracle, nothing's really going to happen. And I think that was almost a team kill onto Vegas. That's not good.
Yeah, communication's important. You want to keep those 5 alive that you got. It. Steven's going to catch El Vegas out here as he rotates north.
My god, did you see his gun there? It went flying into the sky.
And now we see the Legionnaires just reacting to those shots coming out. They see a member go down and start moving into position to try to cover that last member of Marsoc.
They keep making the amount of noise that they are though. Steven, he's kind of just waiting for them. That is the correct play in this situation. He's sitting down, he's waiting for them, he has the time. He's only about 20 meters from objective with a minute 20 left, and he downs Raider, so it's clearly working out. Minute 10 now. But unfortunately, it's Kagan just around the corner waiting for him. Steven slumps against the wall as he gets taken down. That Legionnaires round, that's going pretty cleanly to them. They're doing well so far, though one round is not super indicative of what we may see later on.
Yeah, I think Steven had a good chance there. If he kept it quiet, he had the ammo. Time he got caught out on a bad rotation there. He got a little bit too aggressive, but I mean, I think it was the right play regardless. You know, his odds are stacked against him. He was able to pick up 2 of the defenders. He was in a 1v5 situation, so you can't fault him for taking down almost half the team before he goes down.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Honeyhalf, he's pulling his weight so far. 2-0 on the first round. I think that's going to be a bit of a pattern going into the following rounds. Honeyhalf is an incredible player. There is a reason he was on SMC for such a long time.
Yeah, it's a great start. That's exactly what you want to see from your reservists when you pull them in. Pulling their weight immediately, starting to work with the team very well. It's encouraging to see that in the first round, you know, he's able to help Legionnaires grab that first round win. And usually the first round win is very important, right? It sort of sets the tone for the map, sometimes even for the series. So good on him for doing that.
Absolutely. Now, considering what kind of super tight defense Legionnaires had on that round, we saw the kind of pile up next to the objective with 3 guys basically within 3 meters of it. What do you think Legionnaires are going to try and plan for an offense here? Do you think they'll go kind of a almost beginner style? Because Legionnaires does go a little bit slow, but maybe they're trying out some kind of black and white thing here. They'll go nice and tight, defensive, and then on Marsoc they'll be super aggressive out of the gate.
I think we're going to see some aggression from a few of the members, but they are very good at splitting up where the aggression is on the map and sort of forcing certain defenders to stay in their lanes while a couple others may rotate around a flank. So I wouldn't be surprised to see sort of a split in the Legionnaires offense here.
I would not be surprised either. Likely, what do you say, a 3-2, 3 going into the west courtyard, 2 trying to come around the southwest. That's what I'm feeling. It's like a 3-2 split indeed, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty much exactly that. A couple taking up positions in Bazaar, which is interesting to me. The Bazaar I find for this objective is very dangerous. You have a hard time catching people running into Kiat and grabbing those upstairs windows, as well as that northwest courtyard. So it's interesting to me that they've really doubled down on the entry through Bazaar.
I think you can be relatively safe about Kiot, because chances are most teams are not going to put someone up there. It's very dangerous. So I think I've only seen Globochem. I believe I've seen Blaze do it as well. No one else really springs to mind, and those two are kind of the textbook aggressive team, which Animal House doesn't really fit the bill. They're kind of, I'm not sure how you describe Animal House. They're quite balanced, I think.
One down.
As Green Theft picks up Honey, though. Looks like he got a little bit too aggressive moving up, and he got caught from a really nice left-handed angle there. That's something I think only left-handed players can actually pull off, or someone that's learned how to shoot left-handed. That's a actually incredibly useful angle. I think we may be seeing more of that kind of left-handed angling that Green Theft just displayed later on during the match.
Yeah, that was a great play, and it's definitely something you expect on this objective, is somebody pushing up through that sort of center street. And if you've got a lefty, that's where you assign him. That window is perfect for that position.
Indeed. Yeah, I've not really thought about left-handed positions so much, but it's actually quite a big boon. And my god, that was also a really good nade from Green Theft there. Not sure if he threw it through the window or it was thrown over the roof. Regardless, that is pretty on point. And we have Steven and Kagan there, literally a meter from each other in verticality. It appears Steven may know that Kagan is above him. Not sure if Kagan knows of Steven's location, but they're both being quite shifty.
Yeah, and it's impressive to see here the Legionnaires offense pushing through this Bazaar is moving, about 1 meter a second, but they're moving in a coordinated fashion, right? Covering the doorways, covering the different entryways, making sure everybody can move up without some surprise defender. And it's impressive to see that kind of coordination from them.
Absolutely. And we have Vegas doing his patented move here, proning up the stairs, moving on towards the roofs. This is Legionnaires at its finest. But the finest may not be good enough, because Green Theft Auto, he's looking over here. If Vegas peeks out a little bit too much, he'll go down, but instead it's Kitten Mittens who goes down, the man just on the other roof next to Vegas. He's going to be looking for a refrag, though. Green Theft getting spooked by that nade. Not ideal. He thinks there's someone coming up the pallets now, and he won't expect nor see Vegas moving along. Vegas is now on the floor. He's made a clunk. That should have alerted Steven to his possible location. But it's a nade coming out from Green Theft, or is that a flash? That's a flash, and it gets Vegas perfectly. No follow-up on it, however. That would have been perfect for follow-up. That would have been super dangerous.
Yeah, and it's giving Kagan that opportunity to rotate up and get into a position for a refrag. Steven definitely heard Kagan moving around, but he's not being aggressive. He's not checking the windows. He's just letting them gain the ground, which could actually work in their detriment here. If they can clear this northwest courtyard, it may not be too difficult to pick off the two defenders in the north and cross that street.
Indeed, Raider is looking for Green Theft. He's literally a meter from him. He knows it's there. Green Theft is actually making quite a lot of noise with his breathing. But you know what I'm surprised by? Vegas hasn't really made any major moves. Maybe they should know that there's someone by the kind of stairs there. Steven, maybe he's getting spooked, but they're not actually deciding to go for it. But he's way out in the open now, so it seems I've been proven wrong immediately.
Yeah, if Steven just peeks this, he can absolutely catch Vegas out, but it's looking like he's going to stay pretty tight.
And once he catches Kagan, he sees him, he doesn't actually manage to get any shots, and Green Theft is being so aggressive, and he gets punished because of it, gets taken down. And now it's Kagan and Steven in a standoff, throwing nades and nothing, but Kagan has the advantage in the bullet capacity right now. But never mind, it's Steven who manages to snag Vegas. He gets way out in the open. Kagan does peek out and takes down Steven as he tries to run towards the middle of nowhere, it seems.
Yeah, and that was the best case scenario there for Legionnaires to make it through that courtyard. Is you trade one life for two, and now you're in this relatively easy 3v2. However, Will-O-the-Wisp is going to try to turn the tide.
This could be very powerful. He's going to go on top of the roof and take down Kagan. Raider's got to be super spooked if he didn't realize that those shots were actually enemy. G3, a very distinctive gun. He does know it's an enemy. He's looking for him. Not through the window, though. He is looking through the window now, but it's unfortunately going to be a trade, and Animal House are going to be the ones that run away with that round. Seems we may be getting a little bit of a vault trading pattern here. That would be exciting to see.
Yeah, and I think that could have gone in Animal House's favor had Will not done that great rotation behind them. I mean, that was a really interesting heads-up play and really aggressive, considering I don't know that they knew how many members of Legionnaires were down. So it's interesting that he just kind of rushed in there and jumped up those steps.
I think I know what happened, Noman. I think Willow may have gotten bored. He was up in the northwest watching the North Road. He was actually dancing in place for a little bit. I think he may have gotten bored and decided to go on a flank. It does seem like a very Willow thing to do.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
But it did work out to their favor, very much so.
Yeah, absolutely. If Steven had maybe taken a little bit more time, not taken the shots on Kagan, waited for him to rotate out into the courtyard, out in the open, it would have given a little bit more time for the Legionnaires offense to push up, but he could have picked up a couple of them right off the bat, since he struggled a little bit with picking up Kagan and eventually was refragged. But it was a great play nonetheless, and Will-O-the-Wisp was able to clean that up for them and take it to a 1-1.
Up he did. I gotta say, I'm surprised Raider didn't twig slightly earlier that it was an enemy behind him, because it only took until he was stomping about in the building just next to him that he realized he needed to spin around, start looking through the window for Willow. But I guess the shots he maybe thought was friendly shots, which wouldn't be too surprising considering if you don't know the gun sound of every single weapon, it can be a little bit deceptive. But once you identify what's an AK sound like, an AK-5C, an AUG is very distinctive. G3 can be a little bit rough sometimes, but it should still be quite obvious, so maybe that's just a bit of being a new member to the team. Normally people don't memorize gun sounds and what gun they belong to.
Give that one to Steven.
Yeah, I don't think you try to memorize it, but it does just sort of happen over time. At some point I can recognize, you know, a G3 firing from a distance, because I've heard it so many times on Downfall that basically in my dreams at this point.
East objective now. The objective has of course changed. No more repeating objectives. Thank Jeans. We are getting a brand new one, and this is a southwest spawn as well. This is looking to be an aggressive work off the southwest spawn. A smoke perfectly bouncing off of that palm tree into a very good position. That's actually kind of impressive to see. Lady Luck may be on the side of Animal House here. And this is aggressive from Green Theft too. They're not messing about during this push.
Yeah, they've got all the major lanes covered with smoke right now, right next to objective.
It was Silent. He just rushed in, took down Kagan. There is also a man moving about the far southeast side. That is Alvegas. He's being very aggressive with that, which is kind of interesting to see. He's trying to catch them on the flank. He does hear Will-O-the-Wisp moving just next to him. Not going to catch him for a little bit, though. He should know he's in the street, just in the building. Lots of nades coming out on the objective. Green Theft may actually be trying for a... Is that a cap, maybe? He's certainly getting into the objective right now. And it's just Raider on the objective. No one else is actually ready for this this push from Animal House. If he goes down, this is cap territory. He does take down Raider, rather it's Trade, and Willow downs Alvegas, and now it's just Honeyhalf left up, who's rapidly rotating to the objective at Silent Knife. He's quick, he can get this cap right now. He's going prone on the objective, the smoke is covering him. Honeyhalf shouldn't know he's in there. He's just confirming bodies. He hasn't seen Silent Knight yet. He walks straight over Silent Knight and he gets killed by him. And that means Animal House take the rounds. Honeyhalf maybe being a bit too tall there.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that when we were talking about it in the rounds, when you bring on a reservist, they're not in sync, right? They don't know your plays quite well enough yet, so they take up their positions that they're used to. And in that case, you know, Animal House got very aggressive, made their push right onto objective, picked off a few, and Honeyhalf just wasn't ready for that sort of aggression, and he may not have checked his tablet in time. But that was really a best case scenario for Legionnaires, is Honeyhalf coming in and forcing the kill out from Animal House and stopping the cap.
Yeah, I gotta say, I can't believe he literally walked on top of Silent Knight. Like, I think we have to look at a replay for that. Just refresh this replay list. Ignore that one, that is from an old match. Yeah, this is it here. Got the trade between Raider and Green Theft. Willow takes down El Vegas over in the southeast. Now it's just Honey rapidly rotating in. Silent Knight hits the dirt very quickly. He comes in. Silent Knight probably gets terrified by a shot ringing right next to him, and Honey walks literally on top of him and gets taken down as he rapidly pulls out his SA-80. Kind of just screams in happiness for a minute.
Yeah, that's hard to do, especially on the ground there, to grab a weapon like that when you're laying prone or when you're really close to the ground. It could be tricky to grab it. I'm surprised they didn't, grab a nade or something on accident, or maybe even, well, I guess a knife wouldn't have been the worst thing, but yeah, it was a great heads-up play by him to pick that up.
Absolutely. But so far, I don't think we can call a winner for this map yet. It's kind of just been trading between Volk and Volk, except for that round just there, but I think that round is a bit of an anomaly, considering that really probably shouldn't have happened, standing on top of an enemy. But I think this will definitely go to a 3-4. Maybe Animal House will take it, I'm not entirely certain. Both are very good on Bazaar. If it goes to Cargo, well, not Cargo, rather, Suburbia, I definitely think Legionnaires will take that, and depending on what the other map could be, that could be Legionnaires running away with the series, depending on how Animal House perform on it. But it could be what? What do we have left, except for Bazaar, which we're playing right now, and Suburbia? Quarantine, that's it.
Yeah, and you can't really discount Tanker and Subway if the teams agreed to it. It's not currently in rotation, but if both teams agree, we could see a Subway come out as well. But one of the big things about this matchup and this current score is that this objective is pretty weighted heavily towards offenders, I've noticed. It's a very difficult defensive position to take up. There's a lot of different options because people can come from pretty much every single angle in this courtyard. So I wouldn't be surprised if Legionnaires take this offensive round as well and sort of keep that one-to-one trade train rolling.
You can come in from the eastern side, you can just pepper the objective from there, you can throw nades in, you can come in from the objective buildings like we saw Green Theft and, who was it? Silent Knight come in from those passageways. And, who was it that came in from the southeast as well? That was Willow after he took down El Vegas. If you can just come in from that many angles, it can be, as you said, so hard to defend, because they just come in from everywhere. You can't cover that many angles at once.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Animal House plays this, because I don't know if they're going to play aggressive or they're going to stick close to objective. I mean, both are dangerous in their own right, but I'm curious to see what they're going to bring out to this fourth round.
I think Legionnaires are maybe going to pull out, maybe this round, maybe next round, but I think they're going to pull out some aggression soon. They've been playing quite slow in the previous Marsok round, so I think they'll kind of not let that continue. Animal House has certainly taken up a more aggressive defense here. They've got Silent Knight inside the two-story Kyle here, which is certainly an aggressive position you'd normally see out of Legionnaires. Like, I believe it was against Blaze. Yeah, it was against Blaze. He was just laying by that trading sign, and he got completely railed by Nalco.
Yeah, and that's the aggressive defense I was kind of expecting here from Animal House. But not giving up that early ground is very important, because once the offenders get up into that northwest corner of Bazaar, it can be really difficult to unseat them, especially when smoke start flying. Once you lose visibility into that Bazaar, it kind of sends you into a panic. So it's really important to take up positions where you can sort of at least keep an eye on it. Maybe not get kills from it, but feed your team the information.
Absolutely, just having that kind of presence and having the passive area denial, as I'd call it, of your presence in that location, that can be a really huge part. Like if you had someone, say, identified as being in the eastern side, they're going to pretty much have to focus on killing you before anything happens on the east. Just by that call of you being there, that totally changes how they push that eastern side, even if you'd backed off totally from there by the time they actually decide to start pushing up. Oh, Willow here with this nade. He's going to go straight out in front of Raider and get taken down. He had a nade just by his feet. Unfortunately, Raider's not going to get picked by it. And Raider's actually kind of rushing in. He's going to try and deal with Steven. Steven's also trying to get the Peekers advantage. They all want this right now. Raider maybe getting a little bit cold feet. That's going to give Steven the advantage as he comes around the corner. Unfortunately, his gun gets stuck in the wall and he can't pop off the shots required, and he gets taken down, and that is going to be an advantage for Animal House, a big one at that. That has opened up the entire south side for them.
Legionnaires advantage, Legionnaires. But yeah, they're
Yes.
definitely going to be able to push this southeast side now with no problems. Obviously, Silent is way too out of position to be able to cover something from there. Honey have already taken down Green Theft on the objective. It's looking more and more open by the second.
It is. The defense is just crumbling, though BuxtonWater is going to get the revive onto Green Theft. They're going to quickly get out that line of sight as well. They've got to be so careful. What I'm surprised by is that Legionnaires, they're not bringing in their guys from the kind of the center. You still got Kittenmittens watching over the main market. Maybe they're getting their presence of just Silent Night being there is spooking them. But it doesn't stop Green Theft though from picking up Honey Half. I think he might have celebrated there, just getting that pick on the east.
He should celebrate after he double taps. Very important. He's still revivable for his team, so we're still potentially in a 5v3, but a 4v3 currently without that revive.
Absolutely. Green Theft is getting pretty aggressive here in the center market. He may be able to snag Kittenmittens if he tries to rotate from the center of the south market. But I think his main priority right now is going to be Raider. And though it is Kittenmittens that picks up Silent, and BuxtonWater does down Raider, so that is a threat eliminated on the side of Legionnaires now. There's also going to be a revive on the eastern side from the looks of it, or at least a revive in the making between El Vegas and Honey Half. An important member to pick up right now. They still do have Kittenmittens in the center courtyard, so they still have the potential to pincer here, and they have the numbers advantage, 4v2.
Yeah, this is the time to communicate. This is the time to use equipment. Kittenmitten is a great example there. Honey Half throwing a smoke as well, although not.
Oh no,
quite
that
gonna
nade!
do what he wants.
Kittenmittens is going to lose his life right now, but he luckily dodges that nade. Green Theft, that is incredibly unlucky. He very nearly took down Kittens with that nade there. Now, this is definitely the offense of Legionnaires right here. They're trying to push in from all sides. You've got seems to be Kagan coming in from the eastern side along with El Vegas. Honeycoff seemingly giving Overwatch, or Kitterman just has his presence there, being a bit of a threat to them. But they're so far in a pretty good position to defend this. Apart from Green Theft, who's a little bit exposed. We're in a pretty good way right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that they're in these positions. These, I think, are the most common defensive positions when you're down a couple of men, because you're right on OBJ. You've got direct sight lines on it, but it's also the best place to throw grenades. It's also the easiest check to make. So I'm interested in how these positions work out for them.
Yeah, Green Theft, the position did work out a little bit there as he takes down Kagan, not confirmed unfortunately, and there is also the threat of Honey Half coming down the northern side, but Green Theft seems to be not aware of the eastern. That's El Vegas, and BuxtonWater gets taken up by Kittenmittens. He's kind of getting encircled here as the last man left. He's getting bullets flying in from the south, from the east, and from the western side simultaneously. He did see Kittenmittens just about duck out just here. He may be able to catch him as he moves around. He is looking for him, but unfortunately Kittenmittens is going to escape.
Yeah, they've only got 25 seconds left to do something. They've got to move on this objective, and it's Kittenmittens doesn't get caught out here, but unfortunately Green Theft does pick him up. We're to a 3v1.
This is exactly what Legionnaires wants right now, but Green Theft, he's playing pretty well so far. Elvex is on the objective, but unfortunately it's a trade between Green Theft and Kagan that ends this round, brings it back up to a 2-2, and Marsok, they win yet again. This objective being slightly easier for Marsok is definitely seeming to ring true.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I expected to see. I mean, that Legionnaires especially are very good about setting up their offense before they move in, right? They put their men in position, they get their picks, and then once they've got man advantage, then they start to sort of whittle away at the defense. And that objective is absolutely perfect for that kind of play.
Yes, let's see what kind of objective we're getting next. Ooh, the north objective, the North Kyot building. That's going to be a bit of a dangerous one, I think, for all sides right here. Amhouse, maybe they'll try for an aggressive push, waltz in cap. Maybe Legionnaires will do the same in the following round. Do you think Legionnaires is the type to try and go for stuff like that? Because maybe they'll pull something straight out of the bag, fresh.
I think that if they take this defensive round, we're going to see an aggressive push, because they're going to be up a point. They're going to have the last defensive round of the match if we keep trading. So they do have the advantage there, and I think that it opens up their Marsoc possibilities. And I think a lot of teams, when they're in that position, tend to play more aggressively on their last Marsoc round of the match, just because you either get a cap and you win, or you lose and you can win on your defensive hold on the next round. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some aggression from them on the last one.
I would like to see aggressive play. I think everyone knows at this point that I do like my aggressive play. I think it's a fact of life.
Oh, we are all very well aware. Even on video. I think we even have on video how much you like it.
I think we may. We'll have to double check on that.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to search through hundreds of hours of casting.
Yeah, get on that, chat.
So far, let's take a look at the Animal House kind of thought process here.
We gotta get as far as we can. I don't wanna...
Oh, yeah. Aggressiveness indeed. Hearing Willow call out, we got to go as far as we can. Everyone else agreeing. So they're going to try and take as much ground as they can possibly cover right now. Legionnaires likely going to be more passive and just allow this to happen. This is pretty good so far for Animal House, but with the curse is enacted, one goes down immediately from Raider. Possibly more may go down as well.
Yeah, these are some interesting aggressive defensive positions by Legionnaires. No one's really taking up the courtyards, but they're in the center of Bazaar, sort of keeping their heads on swivels. It's an interesting play.
Funny half though, he's in the sickness spot. Bringing the spots over from SMC Tactical. He's inside of the, not sure what you'd even call it, the doorway of the western courtyard. He did manage to tag one, though Box is going to be coming around the corner waiting for him. But no, he's totally unaware and he gets taken down. That's 2 down in the western courtyard now. The offense of Animal House totally falling apart. And there he goes again. Raider gets another kill onto Silent Night with a nice headshot there. Now it's just up to Steven. Again, it's always Steven.
Yeah, and it's a 1v5, which you never want to see. It's a minute into the round, which I think, I mean, most teams don't really set up their offense a minute into Bazaar. So it's impressive to see Legionnaires clean up so quickly with so much time left in the round. But it's going to give Steven some time to figure out what he's got to do. And you got to think he's probably pretty used to it by now. So I imagine he has some kind of plan.
You would hope so. He's being cautious about this northern east side, which I don't think teams typically put someone up this far northern east side, but maybe he's getting a little bit paranoid being the last man alive. I know I certainly get very paranoid being the last man, but I thought he'd be used to it by now.
Yeah, and I think it comes with the territory when you're the flanker, when you're the person who tries to make the push happen from an angle that the defense isn't expecting. It's a lot of trust and faith in your teammates to hold their angles and make sure nobody, thwarts your plans. But yeah, I think Steven's had a little bit of a run of bad luck, I think, in the last couple of weeks in trying to do some of these rotations and losing his team a little bit too quickly.
We just flicked through a few of the Legionnaires' positions, and they're playing very passively. They're holding their angles. You can even see, just looking through the Y models, I don't know what you'd call them, certainly not Y models. The models through the wall there, they're keeping their angles heavy, nice and solid. They are not moving right now. They are the unstoppable force, or the immovable object, actually. Steven's the unstoppable force.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting to see if he can find a way to break through. I mean, it looks like right now the north approach is the best way to go for him. And I think that's what I would be doing if I was the last one alive. I think the northern approach is always easier to come in from. There's less angles to be attacked from. So I'm kind of surprised him taking this sort of northwest route. But I think he might, or sorry, northeast. But he might be checking the defense, right? Seeing if he can get a rise out of him. And I think that's exactly what that smoke is doing. Yeah,
I'd agree with you there. He threw that smoke. He looked for some people maybe trying to peek out. And judging by the kind of rotation from Raider on the western side of the main market there, may have worked out that kind of distraction. Could be very good for him. If he plays his cards really, really right here, if I give him all of my hopes and my dreams, just like I did during the last Animal House versus Legionnaires match, maybe he'll be able to pull it off. Because on Suburbia, he did clutch almost twice.
Yeah, he really only needs to take out Kagan and likely Raider in order to be able to put himself in a good position for a cap here. So it's definitely possible, but he's making a lot of noise, and that's not going to help him out too much.
I think if he gets down on the floor now, the tablet out, knifes Kagan by some miracle, he could cap, but I think a cap is out of the question mostly, and it's going to be a 1v5 clutch is, if anything, that can pull him out here.
Well, he's got enough ammo with the drum mag from his teammates, so he doesn't have to worry about that for the time being. But Vegas is going to be his first big test here. He is just staring through that crack in the wood, looking for anybody approaching in that room, and does indeed catch him there.
No way you can ever expect that position. That's actually really solid for defending the objective. That's something I think we're going to see more of, because we've just seen it now in this cast. That is a really good spot for defending the eastern side. Wow.
Yeah, and it definitely requires no small amount of patience, and if anybody's going to hold that position, we all know the patient player on Legionnaires is definitely El Vegas, and that was a great spot from him for sure. I would be surprised if we don't see it next week in a couple of the games that we cast and or play.
Absolutely. Honeyhalf again, still carrying his weight, but the rest of the Legionnaires is certainly not slacking either. If they take this Master ground, they'll be taking the match. Well, not the match, the map rather. And it's the same objective, of course, so potentially they can take this, so it will most likely have to be some kind of hard push, because Amhouse is going to be ready for the kind of standard play they've been doing previously.
Yeah, and again, I think this is the time, right? So you're up on map score, you're poised to potentially win the round, cap or kill, and I think that we're gonna see sort of like maybe an experimental offense from Legionnaires, something that they haven't tried yet. This is the scenario in which you'd want to do that, and I would be surprised if they take this, down to a minute or anything like that. But who knows? Who knows? We'll see if they can find a different way to approach it. Sometimes slower is better, but I think testing out aggression here would be a good call.
Sounds like a plan. Let's just hope Legionnaires can't follow through that. Maybe they heard it over the wave somehow, and they're going to be following through with that. I would be very happy to see that. Let's see what they're thinking here.
We'll have somebody watching tank, make sure they don't cross. I'm gonna go through here, make sure we don't have anybody.
Seems they're looking for some guys to cover this eastern side. Maybe the rest are going to be going straight through center courtyard. Sending 3 guys through the center, that is a bold move. Certainly an aggressive one. If they collapse on the east quickly, it can definitely work out very well for them. Isn't going to be anyone crossing far east just yet, so that kind of position watching over El Vegas is not going to do too much. But this is an aggressive move from Silent Knight here. He's moving up to the south of the center market. He's looking for a flank here. He's in a good position to catch anyone that wants to cross over now. Getmans may have spotted him, but I find it unlikely.
Yeah, and I think they still haven't totally dialed in the spawn just yet. I think there's still a lot of rotation from Animal House looking for these offenders. I'm not sure they'll expect them to be coming around so hard on the east just yet, and as I say that, shots come out.
Shots are from Green Theft Auto. He spotted, I believe that is Raider, possibly El Vegas up in the eastern side. Green Theft somehow is managing to see him. He's poking out just barely ahead out of that window. He's definitely got some kind of super sampling running there. Very good eyesight, and that does cause Kagan to back off. That's exactly what Green Theft wants right now, but he's in a very strong position regardless. Just aiming underneath the kind of chair on the table there. I've seen that done in the previous match I casted today, and it certainly worked well for them.
Yeah, and we're going to see Silent Knight rotating out. His was called out by Kid, so he did know that he was there, but Silent's no longer in the position that was called out, which is a great play by him.
Always decide to cover the western side. Not too useful, unfortunately, as it's Kagan who takes down Will of the Wisp, and also Raider that takes down Grave Theft Auto. Raider is inside of the eastern courtyard now. Maybe the Animal House may not even be aware of this, considering 2 men went down at the same time. That is definitely not what they need right now. Maybe getting too aggressive, setting someone up the northern east side, especially considering the fact that they knew there was at least 1 man up there. There's never less rather than 2 people on the eastern side, because it's just too dangerous to clear it alone. But regardless, Honeyhalf with a nice long-range shot onto Steve. It does take him down, and that's now only 2 left. They're in such a good way to just continue attacking this objective. Legionnaires really just have a free pass right now. They could run towards objective, get those smokes out, and life is good for them right now.
Yeah, and they're doing exactly what I thought they would be doing, making these aggressive pushes on single defenders that they caught out, and making their run towards the objective as close as they can. Hunter has to take some crazy shots from that building south of Bazaar.
Indeed, the Raider, he gets some more good shots. Takes down Silent Knight. There's just 2 man left now. Steven, though, he does pick up El Vegas. The Raider is going to be looking for a refrag. Steven, if he peeks that window again, most likely not going to end well for him. He's decided to back off, and that is the good move. Honeyhalf does pop off a few shots. Unfortunately, none of them connecting. And BuxtonWater, though, with a really good rotation just onto the corner here. That will ensure no caps, and it also allows him to kill Raider. Coordinating, make sure their positions are nice and locked down here. They do not want to allow a cap here, and they don't want to die either, because regardless, they will lose this map if either of them either allow a cap or get taken down. BuxtonWater has to be careful here.
Yeah, it's a great play by them so far, equalizing this from a 5v3 to a 3v3, getting those picks on the aggressors on the east. And I'm surprised that Hunahaf hasn't moved up with the team to sort of sync back up with Kagan and Kitmans as they push this east side.
I was thinking the same, but he is getting some really valuable information right now. And with the long range shots he's pulling off, there's not really too much of a downside for him to being there, though really, considering they are starting to get their final push in now with 2 minutes remaining, he should rotate in, and that appears to be what he's doing. Surprisingly, I thought he'd go towards center market and allow more suppression from there, because it was working out very well. He was pressuring them totally out the second floor, but now he's going to link up behind Gagan and who's the other member? Kagan and Honeyhalf. Kitmans. Yes, that's it.
One down. One more.
BuxtonWater does get picked up. Kagan does pick him off. Got a little bit too aggressive peeking out the corner there. Now it's just Steven. The poor man left all alone. Maybe he can clutch it. This is slightly more clutchable.
Yeah, and really he's just got to survive for a minute and a half and prevent a cap, which I think is entirely possible if the Legionnaires don't push this as a unit.
Here, Steven is getting very antsy though. He's running about the entire objective area. He's not going to expect Raider behind him. Normally expect the 2 pushing on the objective from the street right now. He's got to be so careful of them because of that smoke. He has no way of actually watching the objective. Most likely they're going to be going into the corner of the objective right now. If Kitmans hurries up, this is possible.
Out. He's moving up.
He's in the wrong area though. He's checking the code in the wrong area. This is not good right now. Steven totally misses Kitmans as well. Kitmans drops his knife and his tablet, and he's given up now. He does get taken down because of that indecisiveness, and now it's just Steven left versus 2 members of Legionnaires. Question is, will he actually be able to hold this, or is one coming in from the northern side now? He should be able to hear Kagan moving about, and Honeyhalf is giving some overwatch from the eastern side now. Kagan is definitely making a lot of noise. Steven knows he's there. Question is... Yeah, he definitely knows he's there, but I don't think he'll be able to deal with him too effectively. He does see Honeyhalf, but unfortunately can't take him down. His gun just about twitches, and he gets taken down. Legionnaires, they take that Bazaar very cleanly.
Yeah, that was a great play by Legionnaires. That's exactly the kind of thing you want to see is at the end when you've got the numbers advantage and you've got the coordination between your team down. You start making the push from a number of different angles and making the defenders panic, and Steven definitely was under stress there. I don't know if he was panicking, but he played well. But yeah, they were able to take that very cleanly away from Animal House on that first map.
Question is, what is the second map going to be? We did think about we would see Suburbia. We thought we would see Quarantine. I think we will see Quarantine picked by Legionnaires here, most likely. Suburbia, I think will... Maybe it'll be the other way around, actually. Maybe we'll see a Quarantine pick on the third map with Suburbia picked here. The map is loading up now, so we will take a look and also head over towards the War Room. Show you what kind of pick we got here, just to rehash the bans again. We have Cargo Ban from Legionnaires, Downfall Ban, of course, from Animal House, very unexpected. We had a little discussion on it at the start, and my prediction was true here. We are seeing a... Actually, you know what? It appears that Legionnaires gave up their chance for a map pick. They gave up their chance for a map pick, and they have taken, for their second map here, Animal House Quarantine. They've picked what is arguably one of their slightly weaker maps. They've only played it 3 times this season, and they're going hard with this. This was their pick. And again, Suburbia, not exactly much better for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's going to be sort of a toss-up. I mean, these 2 teams play very different styles, and I think when you're looking at just map wins, it can be a little misleading because you don't often know the teams behind those wins and losses, right? So I know Legionnaires have been sort of bouncing up and down in the standings. They played some of the top tier teams and they played some of the lower tier teams. So I have to wonder if some of their statistics are coming from those mid to lower tier teams and sort of skewing it a little bit.
Possibly. And Animal House, maybe they are a hidden king of Quarantine 1. They've only played it 3 times this season, but they do have a 100% win rate on it. That 3 times, maybe maybe they don't practice it at all. Maybe they're so good with it, it just gets banned against them all the time. But they do also like to play Suburbia. That often gets banned against them as well, though it is one of their weaker maps. But maybe, as you said, that could be because of the statistics. Maybe that's because it was banned against them every time. The only teams that didn't ban it were the higher teams, like, say, Globochem.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to judge. We don't quite have the analytics for that just yet, but I think that they are very strong on it. I've definitely played Animal House and Legionnaires both on Quarantine, and neither of them are slouches in any way on this map. So at the very least, we're going to see some really exciting grenade play. We're going to see some really good coordination from both teams. I expect nothing less from the two of them.
I would hope so. It appears we are almost ready to hop into this round now. We're just waiting on Kitten Mittens, the new captain of Legionnaires, to ready up and get his team into the game here. We can give you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what objective we will be seeing for this first couple of rounds, well, the first 2 rounds to be exact. This is this gas station objective. Gas station can be a very rough objective to defend. Maybe Animal House is going to try for a first round cap here. That's certainly a hell of a way to start a map.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I like this objective, you know? They call me crazy, but I like this one. The only thing I don't like about it is approaching it from the south. You would think, in most cases, a quick spawn, meaning the southeast spawn in this particular case, would be beneficial in a lot of different maps on different objectives where you get quick spawn. Marsoc is favored. But I think here, getting trapped in the south is just a death sentence. So I'm interested to see what the spawns are and how the teams play it.
Getting trapped in the south is definitely a death sentence. That's one of the worst things about the quick spawn. Simultaneously, it can also be a little bit of one of the best things about the quick spawn. I do kind of like getting people kind of trapped in the south, though. Unfortunately, it's not going to be kind of useful to this particular round, as it's Animal House who spawn way up in the northern east side. They're doing the Macarena and spawn. They're certainly not too morally taken down by the previous map. I think that's standard Animal House.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no reason to. There was no cap. Steven played great. I don't think they had anything to be upset about. Legionnaires just were able to lock down a Marsoc round quicker than Animal House was. And, I mean, that's okay. I think that they're excited for this map, and I'm excited for it, too. I'm hoping we see some crazy stuff. They're going to have a good bit of time to set up here as they come across this north side towards the west.
This is going a full northern and western focus. Probably for the best on this objective, because rotating guys from the northeast to the south is kind of just a death trap. Not really worth it most of the time. Maybe if you're lucky you can sneak people across when they're distracted, but if they can take Burning Building, which, considering nobody is actually watching it, they have a totally clear path to it, they can do some serious damage from there. But the question is, will they actually work off of that once they realise that nobody's actually able to watch the Burning Building approach, or the fact that there's nobody in Burning Building at all, which is a little bit weird for this particular objective. Normally you put people inside Burning, at least 1, sometimes 2.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing anybody in the village tower. Not seeing anybody try to take rooftop or the 5-story, anything that would have been accessible to the defenders. I mean, obviously you don't know the spawn and you don't want to risk it sometimes, but not having any of those positions covered is kind of a dangerous setup.
Indeed. One thing I do like to see here is, again, Legionnaires, they are holding a very, very tight and passive defense. I have a feeling it's going to work out yet again, though they are giving up Burning Building. I don't think it'll actually affect them too much.
I think that tune might change when the offense takes Burning Building. It's a very strong position, especially for information for this objective, and it's a good way to catch out you know, rotations from the defenders when you have the rest of your team push in on it.
Copy.
But obviously that is very dependent on whether or not your team actually survives the push through the village and through the gas station side. So Kagan's position here is going to be really important.
Is true. If Kagan goes down, this kind of side opens up entirely. Though Honeyhalf is ready and waiting in the gas station, if anyone does decide to push up the western side after taking down Kagan, probably the best thing to do after killing Kagan is to just back off. Kagan, saying it so many times. I think the best thing to do after taking him down would be to just back off, come through burning, because they'll have less focus on there. But regardless, BuxtonWater, he get a little bit too aggressive there. Running out into the open, gets taken down by Kagan, but Kagan has next to no cover. Steven most likely going to get the refrag. He does get the shot off, no refrag yet. Continues peeking around, still nothing. Steven maybe running out of ammo though. Regardless, it doesn't matter. He does take down Kagan, confirming him. And they are starting to take the western courtyard already, actually. Willow's going straight in. He's going to have an encounter with Kittlings. He goes right next to him, trades with him. That is a total trade with Will-o'-the-Wisp being still up and reservoir. That is an advantage for Animal House. And they have also taken over Burning now with Green Theft. Possibly Green Theft's going to do some serious damage from this location now. We talked about how strong it was.
Yeah, and Steven, he's got 2 drum mags now. Ammo makes a push into the gas station. It's just up to El Vegas to try to find him before he makes that cross. I don't think Steven's going to be expecting him up in that village 2-story.
Yeah, that's a hell of a position on the second floor, prone behind a pillar. I don't think anyone's going to expect that. If they try and rush objective, let's see what kind of sight El Vegas has. He has a really good sight on the objective right now. The only thing he can't see is someone coming in from south, so this position is actually incredibly strong, assuming there's not a ton of smoke, but I think they've used most of their smoke, taking over burning.
I'm curious if they're going to try to go for this revive or not. It would be a really good idea considering the defense that we know. And I think, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, because you want to have that 4th man up. I think they know they've got the 2 down. Having that numbers advantage, I think, is going to make this push a lot easier, but someone's going to have to take Vegas out. He is the wild card here.
Yeah, he definitely is. The smokes are starting to fly now. They are ready for this push. A flash coming out, I believe, blinding Honeyhalf, possibly. And the nade coming out, and also some successful fire from Honeyhalf. Or rather, Silent Knight takes down Honeyhalf. And now they're rushing the objective. Raider throws a nade out on top of Will-o'-the-Wisp. He's going to get taken down by this, but he redirects it perfectly. Now Will-o'-the-Wisp is on the objective. He's trying for a cap. Raider gets taken down, but unfortunately, it's Steven who takes down El Vegas just after. Unfortunately, they're not getting that cap, though that would have been so possible for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about. You give up those positions like that, you're going to get punished. That burning building is so strong in that objective. You're able to catch rotations out almost in like a 270-degree field of view. And especially if you've got multiple offenders in there, that's a really, really great way of making that push. And Animal House really cleaned that up. Unfortunately, Vegas' position, though strong, wasn't able to do anything for them there on that push.
I'm honestly surprised that Steven was able to spot him there. That's certainly not a position you expect. Maybe El Vegas let off a few shots, missed Steven. I know aiming can be quite difficult when you're prone, but I think if we hadn't taken him down and the smokes weren't kind of blocking that sideline, because normally they'd be more on the objective, more on the corner where you can cap from, not necessarily in the street. So I think that was a bit of a saving point, the slightly imperfect smokes from Animal House.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think throwing that frag back was huge. I mean, that would have been 2 members of Animal House going down, shutting down that push entirely. Raider would have survived that encounter. That was amazing from him. I think it's the first time I've seen a grenade redirect in a league match.
I would agree with you there. In fact, let's take a look at the replay for that. Do a quick ignore that replay. That's an old one. It's not real. There we go. We can load this up. See, Silent Knight takes down Honeyhalf at the rock. Will-o'-the-Wisp comes in. Raider, he should have cooked that nade because it gives so much time for Will-o'-the-Wisp to redirect it. Go back for the cap, but Green Theft unfortunately decides to rush straight in. And they do not, unfortunately, get that cap. Now this round has begun, and we're going in. This is the second round of the second map. They're planning something. Don't know what, but Maybe they'll try for the exact same kind of thing, try and take over Burning, get some guy coming in the western side. Maybe they'll even send someone south. That would certainly be interesting.
Yeah, it's important to send somebody south. Check for that quick spawn. Make sure no one's gonna sneak up on your guys in Burning and take them out from a distance. But they're not gonna be seeing that this time. Silent is taking Burning Building, and we're gonna see, yeah, that same Steven trying to take the 5-story on the northwest side. So exactly the positions that I would expect the defense to try to lock down. And I'm excited to see if it works a little bit better for them than it did for Legionnaires with that sort of passive defense.
Worked quite well for them. Not sure why Green Theft just popped off a shot there. Didn't seem to be aimed towards anyone.
That might be a piece of the roof.
But damn. Actually, going over towards Green Theft, he has a really nice line of sight over towards the eastern side of the roof.
Yeah, it's AC.
Impressive. That may actually be quite a good one. Got quite a few angles on the roof from gas station, in fact. Maybe we'll see kind of more roof watching from that location. Didn't even realize there was an angle there.
Yeah, and another interesting angle here from Vegas. Checking for that burning building underneath that APC. That's not a commonly known spot, and he's utilizing it as well as I thought he would. But Silent Knight rotated out of the upstairs there, which was the correct call because it's an easy pick for that position for Vegas.
Speaking of positions, Steven could potentially do some serious damage if he manages to take down this man in the northwest, that being Honey Half, and goes on a flank here. He could potentially take down 2, 3 even, and that will just totally collapse any kind of pace the Legionnaires wanted to have for this round of offense. Steven, he's being patient though. He's waiting here, maybe making a little bit too much noise, kind of shuffling about in his play space from the looks of it. But Honey Half is still quite a distance away, most likely did not hear it. Starting to move up on him, so he's got to be careful now. Steven should definitely hit Honey Half now. If Steven pops up, he's going to take him down very easily. No, it's Honey Half. He's looking around. He can barely just miss him. He does catch the edge of his shoulder, but unfortunately it's Steven. He hears Honey Half and he pops up and he takes him down. The height, just not enough quite there.
Yeah, we're seeing Raider and Vegas here pushing up on this center objective. Silent Knight throwing a grenade out, trying to pick 2 of them up, but nothing lands, and they're still moving up unimpeded through that smoke.
Silent Knight is looking for Raider now. He has to be very careful. He's pushed up so far that Silent Knight cannot expect, and Raider takes him down for some nice headshots. And Kagan also picks up Steven. That's a good pick right here. And now it's just Green Theft Auto defending on the western side. Meanwhile, BuxToys trying to take control of this objective area. Where is the 3rd man of Animal House?
Looks like he is
Disconnect, that's why.
disconnected. Yeah, I was just gonna say, yep. So Animal House is down to 2. We're in a 4v2.
Not too great for Animal House, though they could still have a chance of defending here. Legionnaires are certainly taking their time. They do not know that they have in fact taken down 3, though technically only 2 on their side, but they are still playing quite slowly. They still have guys up in the northwest with 2 minutes remaining. Considering they know they have at least 2 picks, they should have the ability to just push straight down the western side to make sure you've got the angles covered, maybe throw a smoke.
Yeah, as a defender here, I think these are the correct positions for them to take up. A little bit of
That.
sure what
Green
Green
Theft
Theft
just
is
wasted
throwing.
a few utilities there. That could have been very useful later on. I guess he got a little bit spooked. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I guess if you lose your center burning, you kind of expect them to push through quickly, but maybe Animal House forgot they're playing the Legionnaires, and they will take their time and inch through this. I mean, they've only got 1:20 left, but I would not have expected them to rush that even after getting those picks off.
Raider almost team killed El Vegas in the burning building here. Not exactly ideal, but Raider's actually going alone to the objective right now. No one else is backing him up there. The other two are slowly coming in. Vegas gets taken down, and Raider is planning for a cap here. He's going tablet out on the side of the building. He's being quite noisy about it, though it could very likely work out. Green Theft is unaware. BuxtonWater is unaware. This is definitely cap territory for Legionnaires right now with 45 seconds remaining. They're going to get this. Other two members of Animal House totally unaware. And that is a beautiful cap for Legionnaires.
Yeah, that was a great play by Raider, capitalizing on his teammates' loss. He made a little bit more noise than we would have liked, especially without having any smokes developed in that area. But I think not having the smokes there is sort of what gave them the edge. The Animal House defense just was not thinking that somebody was going to be coming across that street in pairs looking for that gap. And yeah, that was a great play by them.
I can't tell if that was planned or if that was Raider channeling his inner Raider. He just started to go straight in alone, totally barbaric and against common sense. But it worked out regardless. It worked out very much.
I think he saw the bullets come out towards Vegas, and I think he then caught the rotation back from Green Theft. So I think he thought he had an open window there. I think he did that not on a whim. I think that was planned on his part, but maybe I'm giving him more credit than his due. I don't know.
Possible. But I think Legionnaires is going to be very happy with that. Now that Animal House have to defend, let's see what the next objective is. The eastern side, or rather Legionnaires have to defend that. They're going to be very happy with that, because the eastern side objective, probably the easiest objective to defend on quarantine. As long as you don't lose control of the south, you basically have full control over the entire map. If you can take roof, that's a bonus, but it can be quite dangerous to stay up there a little bit too long, in case anyone goes flanking far north.
Yeah, I can't see Legionnaires trying to take rooftop here, but I do think they're going to want to try to control maybe the center courtyard or that southeast corner across the street from ambulance. I think those two are really key aggressive defense positions, but honestly here, being this far up, I wouldn't expect that. I think they'd want to just sort of sit on it, take this to a 3-1, and force Animal House to make some crazy decisions.
It appears that Legionnaires is, of course, planning to smoke out this southern street, get people across, as you would typically expect. I don't think any team in their right mind would send someone solo with no smokes along the south side, but these smokes are less than ideal right here. Animal House could possibly pick people as they cross, because these smokes are totally barren in the actual street. Oh no, Kit Middens, he's doing the Biggie Smalls maneuver. He's getting the smoke in his hand and just walking across. It does work though, not for Kagan unfortunately, as he gets taken down. Kit Middens safely across, however.
Yeah, they're going to make that call out, but they did make some south, so if Kitten Mittens can go 1v2 here and get 2 picks, he can pull the weight of Kagan and potentially still save this defense for Legionnaires. I think the rest of their defense is pretty standard, but I think Kitten Mittens really has to prove his worth here to make sure that that there's no cap opportunities for Animal House to bring this score in the other direction.
Indeed. Kitten Mittens is going to be in a little bit of trouble, though he does take down BuxtonWater. As I was about to say, the wing going to give Kitten Mittens a little bit of trouble. He does have to heal. That is a syringe gone, and one more hit and he's gone. No revives. So he's got to be very careful. He cannot afford to really peek that again, especially considering the superior cover that the wing position has. Speaking of a cover here, we got a man coming in from the northern side, going towards the cement trucks with the red roof. That is Steven going solo. Silenced AK-5C drum mag. That is certainly a good loadout for doing this.
Yeah, it's dangerous to do that one by yourself.
It is, though. The southern side's not too dangerous, but they do lose a member on the side of Animal House. It doesn't matter too much as Green Theft picks up El Vegas again. It's trade after trade. Or the refrag after refrag. Now Silent and Green Theft are going to be looking to take down Kitmans inside of the office block. He's not going to go down without a fight, however, as he does spot Green Theft. We're going to totally smoke this out, though. This may be a massive misplay. They're giving up the choice of actually smoking out the objective here.
Yeah, and this is the right play here. Keep Kitten Mittens down, move up on his position, and try to take him out in close range.
Steven, though, getting a vital pick on the objective from Honey Half there. Kidmans is watching this doorway. If they leave Steven to his devices, let him do his thing, this could be really good for them. Kidmans does pick up Green Threat Auto, but it is in a trade. Now, Steven, he could run towards the objective right now, or Steven could just call in for Silent Knight to push the objective, and they could get a cap here, straight off the bat, bring it to a 3-2, because Raider is being way too slow about this rotation. He has no idea he's the last one up. What?
He shot his knee through the floor. His knee was coming up through the floor as he was crouching, and he was able to take that knee shot and take Raider out, and Animal House takes that round.
I think that was better for Legionnaires than it was to Animal House getting that kill there. That was definite cap territory. I
think that, yeah, that was probably a mistake to do that. I mean, Silent, if Steven had called out that position, I think Silent would have known. I believe all their kills were counted. So I'm surprised that they didn't just say, go ahead and cross the street. He's in motel, you know, keep his attention, maybe throw some bullets up there. But I suppose when an opportunity to shoot someone's knee presents itself, you take it.
I suppose that Silent Knight didn't know that Kittermittens was Kittermittens traded with Green Theft Auto. He had no way of knowing because Green Theft went instantly down. He didn't go and check the body. He just left him there to rot with Kittermitten's half-alive corpse. So potentially he had no clue that he had gone down at all, and he was still on the assumption that he was watching. Well, Kittermittens was watching that southern street.
Yeah, in that case, that would likely have been the better play. But I'm surprised then I didn't see a rotation out of him towards the south to try to get an angle on the upstairs of that building. But either way, Steven getting that kill brings it back into, you know, blow for blow, which we've come to expect here. Legionnaires do get the cap last round, but Animal House not out of this yet. They got a defensive round, and like you said earlier, this is a good defensive objective.
Sounds like I did hear the round starting bell, so we'll be hopping in imminently to this round. Same objective, of course. This time it's Animal House on the defense, trading sides as natural in Onward. Okay, looks like they're planning a leapfrog on the southern side here, trying to get people across by throwing smokes, crawling to them, throwing them again forward. Not sure if this is going to work out.
Yeah, and Legionnaires is just set up in a firing squad.
And down goes Green Theft. He's totally gone. There's no way they can get a revive.
There's 4 members of Legionnaires staring down the street with their guns pointed at it. I cannot believe Silent just made the cross. Willow's gonna get the revive. Are they not gonna shoot any more bullets down?
I guess not.
Wow.
Silent actually tried to go for the revive first. He dropped his syringe, gave up on it, and ran away, leaving just Willow to do it instead.
Oh my goodness. Animal House needs to buy a lottery ticket after this game. Getting across 4 members watching the South Cross is... what are the odds on that, Bucks? I have no idea.
I have no idea either. It's got to be astoundingly low. But man, that is a good pick to get. Long range one as well from Green Theft, taking down Raider all the way from the office block towards the ruins of the burning building. Silent also trying to pick up whoever crossed towards the tank. I believe, judging by that move, that must have been El Vegas. Yes, it is. That's a very typical El Vegas move, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. The smoke's coming out here towards center courtyard. I think they're going to try to rotate and grab this res, but Green Theft's watching that position. I'd be shocked if he doesn't send bullets down that way. That's exactly what he does.
Having a little bit of tracking issues. Raider revives Kagan after he gets revived by Kagan. Unfortunately not working out as he gets taken down anyway. El Vegas picks up one of the Wisps. Way too aggressive. He pushed up towards the tank L. That is definitely a little bit too aggressive, and it didn't work out for him. Silent Knight picks up Raider again for the second time. That is now 2 down. The people that revived each other no longer alive, unfortunately.
Green, keep watching south for me,
The
please.
offensive Legionnaires kind of being a little bit rough here. That might work out if Funny Half manages to take down Green Theft Auto in the office block. He's popping off a few shots.
Vegas hadn't taken that time to ask for information. He might have caught Silent Knight out there sort of back and forth in this south side. Silent just watching that south now, but Vegas missing an opportunity to pick up another member of Animal House.
Knows he can't be too aggressive peeking it because Green Theft Auto has a superior cover and is watching that corner. The second he tries to peek it for to take down Silent Night, he's going to lose his life. Though, the man here, Honey Half, does have potential to take down Silent Night instead, or rather in his stead.
I think if I was in the position of Silent, I would stay exactly where I was, not peek that corner, and wait until bullets ring out. And if he does that, I think he can catch Hunahap and or Vegas if they decide Vegas to come on the south side.
Silent peek there, just not enough unfortunately to take down Honey Half. He did get hit there, absolutely no down though. He is damaged, maybe going to have to heal. Honey Half's looking for the kill, but he knows this is too dangerous, knows it's too rich for his blood, and he has to back off and kind of reconsider his options here. Oh no, Honey Half, you poor soul. You poor soul, Honey Half, going with a pistol now, running out of ammo in his main weapon, his head coiling in agony. No way Silent Night is going to get outgunned here, and yes, he gets taken down. Honey Half hitting the dirt. That is exactly what you don't want, to run out of ammo when you're in a mid-range engagement with someone with a fully automatic LMG.
I'm shocked he re-engaged with a pistol. I mean, there's so much potential to rotate back and try to pick up a gun. You know, you got a couple downs across the street. I mean, it's almost worth it at that point. At least you die trying to get ammo.
That is true. El Vegas with incredible balls crossing over towards the objective building here. In the smoke, might try and take down Green Theft. He does take down Green Theft. He actually could push towards the objective now, but unfortunately, it's BuxtonWater who picks him up, leaving just the member of Legionnaires Kitmans to push from cement trucks alone with no backup or utilities. This will be a very big uphill battle.
Hopefully he's at least got some ammo in there. I don't see a drum mag in the gun, but I think he was not one of the ones engaging in long-range war, so he might have a better shot at this, but I think Steven's angle here is going to be his demise.
Most likely. That kind of northern push, when you still have an enemy alive inside the motel, is basically impossible. You just can't do it.
I hear you, ho. You want to check into the motel?
Steven has definitely heard Kitmans. His position is made
Second floor, room
well
213.
aware. He's calling out very loudly to Kitmans. Somehow he hears him from 3 rooms over. Very thin walls inside this motel.
I think Hitmans was the one who had taken down Silent Night on his rotation, so those bullets are what alerted him, and now he's able to take out Box as well. So Steven knows where he is, but it's 1v1, and he needs to do something about it in the next 30 seconds. I guess actually he doesn't need to do anything. He can just wait for 30 seconds, and Kit Mittens has to cross the street.
Yeah, he has 25 seconds. I think the best thing to do is just to rush Steven right now. Kitmans has no idea of the time, so he's just trying to make his way towards the objective. It's not going to work out at all, though. In fact, I'm kind of impressed he's going for it.
Yep,
He's actually made his way, his rotation on the objective right now. 10 seconds left. There's no way Steven can actually kill him in time, nor can actually the enemy Kitmans actually pull off a cap. So both the teams are going to lose here on time. But unfortunately, what? Hold on, what happened there? No, that is unfortunate. The Kitman's getting the pick just literally half a second too late.
All Steven had to do was just sit down. He just had to sit. I don't think he knew the time exactly, and he just got a little too antsy, thought there was going to be a cap coming out, and decided to watch the objective, and Kit Mittens had a feeling that that would happen and catches him out right at the end there. Wow. What a buzzer beater for him.
They still get the point. He ran out of time just before they got the pick.
Oh, did he? I thought there was still time left on the timer. Oh, my goodness.
Literally ran out the second they saw each other.
Jeez. Wow. Never mind then. Never mind. Animal House takes that round. But holy I can't believe Steven was still standing. Like, I don't know why he would have been looking over that ledge. If it was me, I would have been laying down, you know, grabbing a drink, getting ready for the next round.
I suppose that kind of rotation onto the objective was very scary for him. I know I would be scared. There are like 10 seconds remaining. He could feasibly go for a cap in that time. So it's a scary, scary situation to be in that I hope no one has to actually experience that, unlike Steven and Kedmans did just there.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake there is coming out of the room. You can stay in the room and still watch the objective area, but coming out onto the balcony there was a dangerous play, making yourself way too visible. Seeing Volk inside of those motel rooms is nigh on impossible, especially if you don't have, super sampling up all the way and shadows turned all the way down and all that other fancy stuff that people do. So staying inside is very important there. I'm surprised that that's what he did not do.
This is an ambulance objective now. This is also a dangerous spawn. I think this is what Animal House wants. Good spawn, good objective to actually attack. They have potential to take this master ground and thus the entire map.
Yeah, they're gonna have plenty of ammunition for this. And exactly what they want, but they're taking a little too long to set up their plan.
Far too long, in fact.
Is able to really move out of position.
What is this rollout from Legionnaires, actually? This is upside down world.
It's Bizarro Onward today.
It really is. We got a western focused defense on ambulance with a northern spawn. Not entirely sure how well this is going to work. Possibly not too well. Once they realise that it's a western focus, I expect someone on Animal House to rotate around towards the eastern side, come around South Hills pretty much immediately.
I'm watching tank courtyard and roof. Courtyard.
Yeah, it would be one thing if they were watching the South Street or the North Street cross. I mean, I guess Kagan is in that position, but they're not in a position to catch anybody rotating up far east, and I'm shocked that Animal House isn't trying to send somebody that way, at least just to check.
Yeah, normally you would, but the smokes are on Bernie now. I think they might have actually known they were going to do this defense. They seem to be ready for it. They're sending guys towards the western side. Or rather, maybe they knew, but they actually wanted the challenge of attacking it. That's what I'm thinking here. Because this is a very unusually western-focused offense here. The Kagan down to Will of the West, finishes him off. And now that's just Silent Knight trying to push the burning building. There is still a man coming in from tank though. It's going to be a very big uphill battle for him. Raider also not in a very good position to deal with Silent Knight. But he comes up from behind though. Gets a little bit risky bumping out of that kind of cover, but that does work out. But Grief Theft, he's walking towards the objective right now. He's literally 20 meters from it, right next to Honey Half. The rest of his team is on the other side of the map. And the two in burning building have absolutely no idea. This is disturbing to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised Raider didn't turn around to go check and see if anybody else had made that cross. And Green Theft just sneaking by here. If he could find a way to get across the street here without alerting Raider or Kagan, this is an easy cap.
It is. He has no nades, unfortunately, as you saw on his chest, but if he can just run over the wall very quickly, take down Honey Half, who most likely won't expect that, and do it quickly enough that the men in Burning Building, Raider and Kagan don't very quickly swap back and murder him, that could be cap territory, because everyone else is far too out of the way to actually do anything. And here goes Green Theft. He's going to take down Kagan, but no, Kagan, Honey Half rather. But unfortunately, that's going to be a trade that is very unfortunate. But he can give out all of the info he desires, and that is big. They're starting to collapse in on the objective now. They can't get that revive onto Honey Half. They have finished off Grief Theft. They have called out that rotation. As Kittermittens goes down, Steven does pick him up and it will continue to rush out this way. BuxtonWater with him. Does manage to also tag Kagan with a headshot. That's exactly what they need on the western side, taking down two. Now it's evened up from a 2v4 to a 2v2. This is really good for Animal House so far.
Yeah, catching that very odd defense on a rotation is exactly what they need. The only way they were going to be able to unseat them, and getting Honey Half down on objective was probably the best thing that could have happened to Animal House. Whether it was a down or not, it still would have worked out exactly the same way. I think Legionnaires would have rotated back to objective, both to get revive and to get coverage on it. And yeah, they were able to even it up there. I'm pretty surprised how well this is going in Animal House's favor.
I am as well, but El Vegas, what is this madman doing? He's getting so aggressive on BuxtonWater, making so much noise. He should definitely know he's just around the corner. BuxtonWater is going to try and peek it. He does take him down. That is a huge advantage now, just 1v2. House with a huge player's advantage. If they have a nade, now is the time to throw it onto Raider. Raider has no idea he's the last one left either. That's dangerous.
Yeah, I cannot believe that El Vegas was running around that corner. Just El Vegas running is one thing, but running around that corner to try to aggressively meet an offense, I don't know what's happening.
I don't know either, but Raider's getting pinched from the northern and southern sides at the same time. And he's getting aggressive. He's moving away from the ambulance. He wants to take down Steven. It's not going to work out too well, but it is a trade between those two. And that is Animal House taking quarantine very steadily. BuxtonWater coming in for the cap, but a little bit too late.
Yeah, holy cow. I mean, what was that? What was that defense?
I don't know. It was disturbing. What was Legionnaires thinking? That was borderline experimental.
Yeah, I think that was the wrong play to make there. You're down a point. The enemy team just needs one to win. Why are you not on objective? Why are you not just as close as you can be without being in grenade distance of each other to make sure nobody gets even, a millimeter next to it? Instead, they take up that crazy gas station gas station defense and just get picked off one by one on rotations. Great play by Animal House, but yeah, wow, I don't know what happened to Legionnaires there.
Yeah, burning building was a good move, but the people on the western side, that was, I'm going to say it again, borderline experimental. Maybe a league match where you're down a point, not the best place to test things out like that, but if it had been a quick spawn, I think it may have worked out slightly better for Legionnaires there, because they've been able to catch them as they crossed the street, unlike normally where they just kind of get away scot-free, because no one really wants to wander into the street and take shots. I don't think it'll be too good for northern spawn. The western spawn, it'll kind of be a disaster overall for anything but that one spawn.
Yeah, that was crazy. But speaking of crazy, our third map is coming up.
Indeed. Everyone has loaded in, and we can call out what this map is. This is again going to be Animal House's pick, because they obviously are the home team, so they picked the first map, then Legionnaires gave up their pick for the second, and we're going into the third. This will be a good one for Legionnaires. Suburbia, as we expected.
Can we say curse lifted? Curse lifted, because you called all the maps. I think that's what we can say that now.
I think we can, relatively safely.
Yeah. It's me. It's what it is. It's when I started casting with you, the curse is gone. It's magic.
That is true. You're the anti-curse.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an awesome map to watch. I'm particularly excited if I can jump a little bit ahead here to this objective. It's the garage objective in the far south. And this one is so much fun to watch, and I'm so excited to see how these teams do it. It requires such amounts of coordination on Martsock, and it requires a really, really either extraordinarily tight defense or extraordinarily aggressive defense. If you're sort of in between and you're kind of rotating between spots, I find that defense tends to crumble the most. So I'm really excited to see what kind of offenses and defenses come out on this one, and I think this is probably going to be the perfect end to this series.
I think so as well. Looking again at the history we mentioned at the kind of the start of the cast, Legionnaires, Animal House historically not very hot on Suburbia. They've got let's take a look at here. They've won 42% of the rounds they've played on Suburbia, but they've only won a third of the actual maps they've played in total, which, considering most teams kind of sit about a 40 to 50% on their worst maps, it's definitely not a good omen.
I think I'll turn it around. I think they'll pull out something new here. I mean, just because it hasn't been played in league matches doesn't mean they haven't done it in scrims and in competitive lobbies. I would be shocked to see it be lopsided here, but you're the one whose curse just got lifted. You're the one that I think we should be listening to.
We should. What I would like to see is maybe a shield coming out from one of the teams here. I don't think either team is really famous for taking shields, but I would like to see it regardless. I want a Raphael to pop up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Maybe some C4 as well. Yeah, C4. Raider has got the C4 ready and primed, giving the detonator to El Vegas. Finally, the C4 inside of the bush. Oh no, it's just the detonator. Where is the C4? That is the question. Oh, it's on Raider. He threw it over the bush. That could be devastating for Steven if he gets caught by it. That nade also very good. That could actually take down El Vegas. It lands right next to his head that insta-kills him. A long-range nade in 30 seconds takes down one instantaneously. That is absolutely disgusting.
That is a miracle grenade. What a friggin' grenade that is.
That is beyond a miracle grenade, I think. That is God tier. Steven, I think, is going to be very happy about that once he learns that that nade actually happens. There was a little bit of suppressive fire coming up from Honey there. He didn't actually know anyone was there. Raider, though, does know Green Flash there, and he takes him down. He does get the smoke off. Not going to be too useful, though it does block a little bit of the vision. Now it's just 4 members of Animal House, another smoke coming in. They're trying to get this nice and blocked off. Kagan takes down BuxtonWater on the playground. He is reservoir, however. You just need to be very careful of the second floor. Most likely, I do expect the man in the west here, whoever that is, with him to get the revive. Who is that? Will of the Wisp. There you are. Steven and Silent Knight, they both have to deal with Central Hotel as well. BuxtonWater unfortunately confirmed there by Kagan. And now here goes Steven. Looks like he's trying to take over the central house now. He rushes up. He's going to see one of the whips. Kitten Mittens. He takes him down with a very clean push up there. Now he has to deal with one more in the small room. That's going to be Raider. He trades with him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be reservoir, though. Neither is the enemy.
Yeah, I think that's best case scenario, though. Once you take that center house, you've got a very advantageous position on the defense. You can sort of wait them out. They've got 4 minutes. Plenty of time to do whatever they want, basically. And yeah, that was a great play by Steven clearing that house for them.
Absolutely. Silent Knight was spotted by Kagan in the second floor of the center house there. Kagan, though, giving away his position even more. They should know he's in there very solidly low. Most likely, I do expect a lot of pre-fire coming out of there. Where'd that smoke go? Looks like it was headed towards the fence. Kagan got a little bit smoked out by it, though, so it's actually surprisingly effective. A bit of fire coming from Kate, just blindly into the smoke, not doing anything at all. May catch Will of the Wisp as he starts to actually move up this western side of the house now. If Kagan goes down, this could be cap territory, though Honeyhalf is also right next to it. He could literally walk towards the objective from the front of the house and get a cap right now, but he's determined to go around back. Kagan does get taken down, but Honeyhalf is coming around the corner hard. Gets taken down. That Will of the Wisp gets taken down. And Honeyhalf is continuing his rampage. Is a medley of death, and that's going to leave Silent Knight in a pretty precarious situation on the tank. He has no real idea of where Honeyhalf is, only that he's tall and he's dangerous.
He just missed him as he rotated in the garage. That's unfortunate, but he's going to come out really loud, rotating like that. Silent takes it for Animal House.
Don't even, baby. Don't even, baby.
Oh, what was that rotation at the end there? You want to stay close.
Rotation may be questionable, but Silent Knight's actions after winning that round, deplorable. The teabag onto Honeyhalf. He's going to be mentally scarred by that one.
I didn't know we were playing Call of Duty. I didn't realize this was a Call of Duty ESL stream. You're better than that, Silent. I know you are.
You have to show him the clip afterwards. Someone clip that, please. I demand it. But I think Animal House, after seeing that performance, I'm not sure I can stay with my prediction of them getting kind of rolled over by Legionnaires. They have been playing pretty well on this current round, with Steven getting the 3 kills. It was getting dicey, but not dicey enough that I would call it an easy win for Legionnaires on this map.
Yeah, what was impressive to me was the last 2 members there, Silent and Willow, moving on to the house. That suppressive fire coming from Silent was keeping the defense both stuck in their positions and providing some sound cover as he moved up. So they've clearly practiced this a little bit. And like you just said, I don't think it's going to be an easy win. I think this is going to be quite a battle.
Indeed. Going to Auto, doing their rollout. Looks like he's going to be the man on the objective. He gets a dunk with the pistol. He's not going to get the same with the nades. He throws it outside of the map. That's a utility lost. A little bit too happy about getting that shot in with a pistol. Unfortunate. One thing we may see more of during this is a lot more nades coming out. You know, maybe not so savvy with their nades like Steven was the last round. They are certainly taking up more aggressive positions like Willow here. He's most likely going to rush out and take down Raider once he actually twigs that he's there. Gotta be so careful.
I'm surprised that this offense on the western side is so tame. I would have expected them to try to move up into the playground a little bit early and not let BuxToys set up the way he did, and especially because you can catch Willow's position from that playground if you're aggressive enough.
Speaking of Willow's position, Willow and Raider are literally one Hesco wall apart now. Neither of them have any idea that they're there. They're walking straight past each other, and Willow's going to let Raider totally pass, but no, he flicks back. He doesn't see him. He flicks back just too slow, and he doesn't see him though. A team kill almost did come out from Honey Half there. That is unbelievable. How did Willow not hear him there? Oh, Raider saw the gun. He sees the tip of Willow's gun. He's looking for him. He wants him. He does get him. Like a vulture swooping down, he just rips into his prey, and Silent is trying to get the refrag, but it's not working out so far.
Yeah, that's got to be really confusing. I thought I saw somebody there, and then I got shot from that position, but how did I get there?
I did.
Strange maneuvers, I think, is the answer to that question.
Gremlins. Gremlins is what I...
Gremlins, yes. That's exactly it. Here, over at the burning building, we have BuxToys and Kitten Mittens. Just one building apart, they're waiting for each other. They both know that each other are going to be there. That's a very common position on both sides. Whoever has a nade and throws it across the other side of the house wins in this kind of case. A bit of pre-fire coming out from Honey, not going to do anything though. Raider is just slowly snaking his way up in classic Legionnaires fashion up the lane too.
Green Theft's in a good position to try to catch him as he pushes up, but he's gotta be a little aggressive on his peak in order to try and catch it. I'm not sure they're gonna give him the opportunity yet, but Honey Half throwing a really good grenade on Green Theft's position, and Green Theft goes down as a result.
That wasn't mine.
I barely caught that. He is Resball, and Steven also threw a nade at the window there. Maybe some more confirmation nades will come in. Green Theft is getting rotated around too by Steven for the revive. If they catch him standing up here, that'll be devastating, but luckily that smoke comes in, covers him, and also he ducks down just in time. Oh, is that a nade? No, it's a smoke. If that was a nade, that would have been probably really good. It did just barely skim a building though. BuxToys going on the flank, trying to take down Kitten Mittens. Not really going to work out. He has to back off. Kitten Mittens peeks out and takes him down. And now this is a 3v5 situation. Animal House not looking in a good way. The center house is totally smoked out. Silent is he's very stressed right now, and he's going to take down El Vegas. There is a C4 up here, which maybe they're going to take use of. Raider gets taken down by Green Theft Auto. That position is playing off. They didn't expect him to be there. Silent is ready to blow this C4 the second it goes up. He does hear El Vegas, but he peeks out just at the wrong time. He takes out his gun and trades with El Vegas in C4. Unfortunately, not going off in time to take him down. Honey Half's going to come around and confirm that kill. So far, the situation is unchanged. Steven, rather, is trying to take down Kitten Mittens on that eastern side. Gonna work out, and Steven isn't happy about that.
Yeah, and that position's compromised. It's not a good place to be. I'm surprised he's going right back to it. That's where I would send my bullets if I was Kitten Mittens before I make any kind of movements.
Yeah, moving back to the exact same position after you popped off the shot's not really the best idea. Now that he's rotating slightly further down to get a better angle, this could work a lot better for him. If there's one thing you don't want here is one side of the building collapsing, like Green Theft or Silence, rather Steven's position, but then just waltz up and cap. Having people outside to make sure they die first is definitely the best idea here. Kidmans is doing the standard Legionnaires play though. He's proning up the barbed wire. Almost called it a kitten wire there for some reason. But he's proning up now, and he's going to be the one that deals with Steven. Most likely, I do expect him to spray straight through the wood right now, but he's not. He's staying silent. He goes straight out to the open and gets taken down, and at the same time, Green Theft goes down from Honey Half as he brushes out into the open bravely, and it does work out, and they do take that round. Legionnaires again taking back the pace, and possibly they'll continue this and just ride it towards the end.
Yeah, now it's a defensive round for Legionnaires. It's going to be the northeast red car objective, which I wouldn't say is necessarily offense favored, but I think it's pretty even. There is a lot of opportunities for coordination between teammates to cross the street and get into the spawn. It all depends on the type of tactic you take up here. I think with the way Legionnaires typically play, they have a good chance at pulling off the defense here. But if Steven can throw some of those God mode nades, I could really turn the tide again. So I'm not counting them out just yet. I still think it's going to be blow for blow.
Well, we will see if your prediction does ring true. Maybe the curse transferred from you to me during this. Maybe that is a possibility. These curses, they're fickle things.
I can't afford a voodoo doctor right now, okay? I just can't.
That's
Not
why
in
you
the
become
budget.
one yourself. It does have the side effect of sometimes cursing yourself, though. Maybe that's what I did, but I'll keep that silent.
Well, now I have to go to the doctor, guys. The voodoo doctor, that is.
The special V doctor. But now, with this final map, who do you think is going to take this? They are 1-all. It's going to be a hard run either way. I think Animal House could pull this off. Unlikely, but they could. If Legionnaires take this map, the map and the match, they are going to go pretty far ahead in MMR, I think, because they are 10 MMR below Animal House. And this, if they take it, would be pretty solidly towards their side for the MMR.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far with Animal House, I think they've been practicing this map. So I'm going to err on the side of agreeing with you, not because of a curse, but I do think that they have a really good shot at pulling this out based on what I've seen so far. But again, I think a lot of it depends on seeing that same coordination we were seeing earlier when they did their initial Marsoc push on that garage objective.
Indeed, and so far the defensive Legionnaires is very eastern focused. They're not worried about the west at all, but potentially the west is the most dangerous kind of area for this objective. If they get guys crossed over to the gardens, you basically have lost. It's such a strong position.
Yeah, Steven tosses a grenade out towards Hunahaf's position. It doesn't quite land where he would want it to, but I think at this point, I mean, you have to know where most of the defenders are going to be, so he throws another one out, and it does actually catch him this time.
Absolutely gorgeous, and the pre-fire, the blind pre-fire coming through the fence to finish him off. That's like, that's prophetic almost. He's been to the same voodoo doctor for these nades.
I'm not sure that was pre-fire. I think he saw him through the bush, or maybe Box saw him and called him out. He did borrow a grenade from Box to make that second throw. So I think he could have known that he was there, maybe seen his head through the bush there, and then just popped off those shots to confirm. That was incredible by Steven. Two amazing grenades by him.
Absolutely, and the western smokes are coming out. The western smokes are here. And this is going to be their crossover now. They have already crossed one over, that being Will-o'-the-Wisp, and also that's going to be Sunlight following them up. They have totally took control of the northwest already. There is no opposition for them. And that smoke is also going to allow Green Theft to kind of under the spooky cover to actually deal with El Vegas here, who just took down Kid Mittens, or other Silent Night. There go two others as well. Too many kills in such a short period of time, they can't handle it.
Yeah, Green Theft able to pick up Vegas there in that house, and then refrag by Kagan at the fence in lane 2, which is to be expected. I think this is the sort of formation they were looking for. It was kind of a kill box around the objective, but the trades have not gone in their favor. I mean, there's two members of Animal House up, one available for a revive still. And I think Legionnaires is just focusing on not getting a cap out.
I think so. A very risky shot, or rather, a very risky maneuver from Raider here. It does work out, though. One of the ones took some shots, didn't work out. Steven trying to get some more confirming shots over towards the other members of Legionnaires. Not going to work out, though. It's a 2v2 situation. They get some on-point nades again. They should know where Raider is. They should know where Kagan is. But apparently it doesn't matter. As Steven gets taken down by Kagan, he got too aggressive peeking out. Now it's just BuxtonWater. Just BuxtonWater alone with 3 minutes and a scar.
That's got to make Steven mad. He had his sights trained on Raider, and Kagan saved his life. I think Raider owes Kagan a beer after this round.
BuxtonWater may be owed a beer by the rest of his team as well if he manages to clutch this 1v2. Raider is going to be watching this corner, though. He needs to pre-fire. He fails to pre-fire, and he gets taken down by Raider instead. And that round, again, going to Legionnaires very solidly. Except for some minor issues with letting the enemies cross over. That didn't cause them too many issues.
Yeah, and I think that defense, it might. I'm gonna say something crazy here, but I think that was the right call. I think spreading your resources out heavily across the North Street can sometimes not work out in your favor. If you're spread too thin, it's easy to get the single picks, hard to get the refrags. But you can sort of see, like, if you, well, you'd have to go back to the tapes, but if you saw the position they had, they sort of just created a circle around the objective, and watching each other's backs and each other's angles, I think was the right play there. I think that was a practice defense by them, so I'm not surprised that Legionnaires was able to take that one.
Most likely. I wouldn't be surprised if Legionnaires did practice this map, as they should really have expected to play it against Animal House on this map, as I think it does get picked quite often against Animal House at sea. Yeah, they played it 9 times during this season, which is quite a few considering the fact that they have only really had a couple matches, quite a few matches rather. There we go. That's the correct word I'm looking for.
I still think that Animal House is in this, that this defense is going to be strong. They had a bit of an unfortunate set of trades on that last set. Could have gone either way, but that Legionnaires defense was very solid. I would not be shocked if we see something similar to that in other league matches as well. People not spreading so thin on those north objectives.
Here we go now into this 4th round. Yes, 4th round for certain. My counting is on point for this cast at least. I was a mess with my counting in the last one.
They are really getting crazy.
Numbers are hard, Buxton. We all know that.
They are. You can ask Sleepy. I don't know why I'm saying his name, but I'm blaming him for something. He's done something with numbers, and it's just in my mind. But Legionnaires are being a bit slow with their rollout. Looks like they were trading ammo. Willow's being quite aggressive. Never mind, he backed off. He thought about going straight in, but decided against it at the last moment.
Yeah, in that case, it may have been actually it could have been beneficial because it took so long for the Legionnaires to set up. He could have caught crossing out of that garage, but he's going to take this slightly more passive position, and he's not going to see a whole lot. This Western stacked offense by the Legionnaires is well, it's slow, A, but B, it's very stacked. I mean, I don't know what they're waiting for here.
I guess they're waiting to see if anyone's going to be rushing out. Maybe they're expecting someone to be in this kind of centered passageway here. I find that unlikely that they would expect that, but it's always a chance, and they have enough time anyway. They can afford to burn a minute, 2 minutes even, just watching this area, making sure no one rushes out. Maybe they're hoping to also kind of psych some of the members of Animal House out, get them to rush, try and do something, but I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, not when they're in this position. This is when I expect Animal House to play a tight defense. Your point down series is on the line. I don't think they're going to get too aggressive unless they have a pretty strong man advantage.
Yeah, I would think so, but we've still got Honey Half waiting for a flanker at the tank. They're really scared of any possible flankers right now, which is kind of weird to see. Because I don't think Animal House has really pulled out any flankers. We had Willow on Bazaar, but that's been about it. Oh, that nade. That nade. It lands right next to Kagan and it takes him down. Unfortunately, not a confirmed kill though. Silent is rushing out. He's looking for the confirm. He's going to most likely catch Raider if he rushes out hard enough. But Friendly Nade almost kills him. He does take down one. He takes down two. He takes down three. A triple kill for Silent Knight. Can he get another one? He cannot confirm it's on Knight, but he picks up Kitten Mittens. And that's a 4 kill for Silent Knight now. An unbelievable nade into an unbelievable counter rush. And it's working out so well for Animal House now. All left to one man, that being Honey Half.
Yeah, Silent Knight confirming 3 there. Doesn't that got Vegas. Obviously, Vegas was just collateral damage there on the other side of the fence. But Honey Half should get the revive. I'm not sure it's going to help him too much, but yeah, wow, what a play, man. What a he must have heard that down from behind the house.
One thing I gotta say
like
quickly.
Yeah.
Honey Half, the second he looked at his tablet, I heard a very, very kind of just depressed explicit. He was not happy with it. He was very sad that his whole team had vanished before his eyes in the space of about 3 seconds. But man, continue what you were saying, because that was an insane push, as you were saying.
Yeah, we're gonna see this revive without an issue, I think. And yeah, Animal House I think is just gonna sit pretty here. I don't think they have anything to worry about. Just hold the angles and wait them out.
Yeah, maybe we'll see another nade coming out from, let's see, maybe Silent Knight has an extra one he can steal off Green Theft. Maybe Green Theft has one, or maybe, who's out there? Box Toys or Steven have them. I don't see them really trying for one, because it would be kind of a nade in the dark, a nade in the dark, a nade in the dark! It lands and it takes down Honey Half, and they take that round with a god nade! There is no possible way they could have known that. Somehow by some unbelievable miracle, they do know. And oh my god, it works out well for them.
Buxton, I have to ask. There's a 6-minute delay on the stream, right? Because there's just no way that they're getting these nades. They're staggering. They are staggering with accuracy here. That was...
This is voodoo magic. This is voodoo magic, Noman, at its finest.
Oh my god. I can't cast this anymore. This is too much. How do you even account for... Oh my god. Great plays. I mean, just amazing. That was Silent Knight, definitely the MVP of that round. Managing to get 3 confirms with a 4th he didn't even know off of 1 grenade. And then a final grenade. Oh, confirming Honey Half as the last kill. They didn't even see anybody. I'm pretty sure Animal House just won that round without seeing an enemy. Like, Silent Knight saw 2, and everyone else just saw nothing and won.
Yeah, that was insane. Silent saw 3, then we saw Center House guy on the 2nd floor. He saw the 2 he obviously killed. He just blindly killed El Vegas. And then the blind nade comes in and takes down Honey Half. I don't even know how that got him, to be honest. That looked very sketchy in terms of the distance, but I thought it rolled into the pool. I guess not. So, my god, that was a lucky nade.
My heart can't handle this. This is too much.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just pass out and die in a minute as well, because my god. And they've been doing really well, both teams, this match regardless. We're 2 hours in and we're still neck and neck, really. 4-2, 2-4. They're just trading back and forth.
Stay away from...
Yeah, we're going to see some more insanity here because this objective lends it to that kind of insanity. It's the burning building objective in the southeast. And, you know, I'll eat a shoe if we don't see some grenade kills here coming out from both sides.
Yeah, I see a lot of unpinned smokes coming from Animal House right now. This is their plan. They're going to smoke this out. They're going to nade this out. They're going to go straight in. I count 8 smokes right now. And Silent is going straight in, trying to deal with Kid Mittens. He's taken the center house. He's totally cleared it already. It doesn't matter. This is unbelievable. Silent takes out Honey Half. Kagan gets taken down by Green Theft Auto. Or rather, the other way around. Green Theft Auto goes down from Kagan. And now Silent just wreaking havoc from Central Hotel. Steven is going for a prone cap here. Elevator is going to be the one that catches him, though. Box Toys on the other side of the burning building. It's distracting Box Toys. The BuxtonWater gets taken down, or rather Elevator does. Raider team killed by Kitten Mittens, and now Kitten Mittens takes down Silent Knight. Will of the Wisp also taking down. BuxtonWater is capping. This is going to be the cap for Animal House. This is going to be the end of the match. This is going to be the end of the map. This is exactly what Animal House needs right now. They do get that cap, and they do take the series very nice and clean. What an unbelievable 2 rounds we've had. I cannot believe what I've just seen here. That is utterly unbelievable.
I have no words. I have no words for this Suburbia. I cannot believe that we said Animal was going to struggle on Suburbia after that. What an amazing... I mean, 3 rounds. It was really 3 rounds in a row for them. It's just incredible.
I am utterly speechless. I think I woke up my whole house just now. Not a good thing to do at 4 AM, but these things happen. It's all in the service of the VR Master League. Please use your free Twitch Prime subscriptions.
This is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we love bringing into everybody's houses. I mean, what do you even say about that? Animal House, well done. Well done.
Yeah, I think that's all you can say. They pulled some kind of black hat straight out. They did some amazing stuff. Don't know how they got that. They just kind of tapped in some kind of reserve. I have no idea, but it worked out for them in the long run. We thought they would lose the map, but I guess not. They're fine.
Yeah, they played that pretty much as perfectly as you possibly could. They made that aggressive push on the offense. They knew they had the momentum there. The smokes were amazing. The cover was amazing. The defense there, I believe Kitten Mittens downed Raider, which was it was a grenade coming out from Kitten Mittens downing Raider that kind of hampered their defense a little bit, and Kagan was just too far out of position to catch that cap. Yeah, what a great game.
Yeah, utterly amazing. That's going to go in the history books for sure. Silence and that beautiful just cap at the end. I think that's going down in the books for sure. But I think that's going to be it from us today at the VR Master League today. Tomorrow we do have Boss Fight versus Beginners. A very exciting matchup, 7:30 PM GMT on Sunday tomorrow. Man, that's going to be a good one, but I think that's signing off tonight. I need a break after that. I am emotionally shattered from watching that final round. I don't know about you, Noman, but my God.
Yeah, I'm gonna shed a tear. That's for sure. That was stressful. But yeah, definitely excited for those games tomorrow. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Thank you, everyone. That'll be us from us tonight. Goodbye.